And it's another weekend. We're glad to have you join us on the program. I'm Tempula Shaju. Thank you for joining us. The just ended week was remarkable for the listing of Nigeria's green bond on two securities exchanges, namely the Nigerian Stock Exchange and the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange. Now, this is because globally countries are beginning to mobilize funds from the debt capital markets to finance environmentally friendly projects in support of the development for the good of their citizenry. Now, this week, the federal government, through the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Environment, and of course, the Debt Management Office, known as the DMO, took a cue from other countries by listing the very first green bond worth 10.69 billion Naira Series 1 5-year debt at a fixed coupon rate of 13.48% due 2022. Now, that took place on the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange. Let's hear what the Chief Executive Officer of that trading platform, Mr. Bola Onodele, has to say about the readiness of the platform to finance this program.
At a point, we thought the challenges in Nigeria were in other ministries. But since the day we got involved with this side of things, the sustainable development goals, you then start to appreciate that there are other challenges. And it's a lot of work. And in any way, in FMDQ, we respect what your ministry is doing. We do not in any way discount, belittle, or underestimate or understate your relevance and impact in this country. We've appreciated it more. And indeed, for us, I think this year we introduced a sustainability and corporate responsibility group. And we take that seriously. And that shows that as an organization, FMDQ is addressing issues of sustainability, either to our business, the market, the community, our people, and also the environment. And these are things we'll take very seriously. For every Nigerian, as the video reflected on some of the speeches, it's gone beyond the issue of finance. Today, a lot of people may not appreciate it. The first sessions we had, a lot of investors were talking about yield. But by the time we'll all appreciate what we've been confronted with, I think the psyche of investors will start changing to making request of those things and focusing less on the 100% basis points or 200 basis points they feel they must get. When I shared with one of the parties in the state government about $60 trillion of dollars being available, they couldn't believe it. And they've requested for FMDQ to come and make presentation to them that whatever it takes, they would like to tap 60 trillion, whatever they can get of $60 trillion. This is a major responsibility that FMDQ has taken and has decided to work with other stakeholders in this country. And we share as much as possible, make a little contribution.
Mr. Bola Onodele Koko, who is the Chief Executive of the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange there. Now, that was not the end of the listing. Now, the team moved on to the Nigerian Stock Exchange to list the sovereign bond on that platform. Commenting on the listing, the Chief Executive there, that's Mr. Oscar Onyema, explains that the admittance of the first ever sovereign green bond in an emerging market like Nigeria is yet another milestone for that exchange. It goes ahead to call on traders and the investing community to go on and take advantage of this program.
Issuers of green bonds cut across the public and private sectors and include national governments such as Poland, France, Fiji, and Nigeria, to subnational and supranational issuers like the City of Cape Town, the City of Los Angeles, and the Africa Development Bank. Corporate issuers can also be found spread across various industries from healthcare and energy to transportation and banking. Interestingly, the dispersion of green bond issuers can also be found spread across multiple geographical jurisdictions. As yet, however, there has been no green bond issuer from the Nigerian market, save the federal government. we encourage listed companies and other corporates in Nigeria to consider using a globally recognized platform at the NSE to raise green bonds and to raise green capital in general. Green bonds represent a turning point and a new paradigm for our markets. As you're all aware, Nigeria, as a party to the Paris Climate Agreement, has committed to achieving specific climate change objectives embedded in her nationally determined contributions. These objectives require huge capital investments, and particularly so for Nigeria, given the huge infrastructural deficit, which is estimated at $3 trillion over the next 25 years. Fortunately, green bonds represent a unique opportunity for financing our climate change objectives, delivering on critical infrastructure gaps, and unlocking the economic growth potential of this country.
The CEO of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Oscar Onyema. Now we've gotten the feedbacks from the CEO of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and, of course, that of the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange, talking about Mr. Bola Onodele there. But then, wait, let's take a look at how their markets performed in terms of the flagships of securities tradable on their platform. First, we'll start with the NSE OTC, which is the unlisted securities market. And the USI for this week came in positive, climbing 1.2%, closing at 699.13 points. It actually moved up with the market capitalization of 473.12 billion naira. In terms of the gainers, we have the Central Securities Clearing System PLC, Union Bank Properties Company, as well as Industrial and General Insurance PLC. Moving on to the losers end of things, we've got the Niger Delta Exploration and Production PLC company alone on that board for the losers. Now let's go to the Nigerian stock markets where we have equities tradable. The equity markets traded bearish this week, posting losses for the 4 out of the 5 trading days of this week. The market ended the week 2.11% lower, making it the third week-on-week consecutive decline. The decline was largely bearish as a result of the negative performances in all the sectors except the insurance segment of the market. And that's what we've got from that side of the market, equities. Now let's go to the FMDQ OTC market, which is the secondary market here. The transactions turnover in the fixed income market, as well as the currency side of things for the month of June, did impressive. For the month of June, ended June the 30th, 2018, it amounted to 17.23 trillion naira, and that represents a 20.53% increase from the value recorded in May. Of course, that's again 4.61 trillion naira increase when you look at the year-on-year performance of the markets. Treasury bills and foreign exchange segments jointly accounted for 79% of the total turnover in the fixed income markets, coming marginally higher by 3.44%, and that's for the performance that's against the performance that we saw in May. Now, the FX markets turnover recorded the highest month-on-month increase, growing 34.50% or 1.79 trillion naira.